I know it's a little bit early in the video, but I just want you to imagine that we've just zoomed out 50 years in the future. You're sitting there in a hospital room. You can hear the EKG machines and shit beeping. You can hear the doctors and nurses coming in and out of the room. And lying in front of you on the hospital bed is your mother. It's her last few days on this planet. And as you're looking at her, you can just feel your throat almost close up as you imagine all of those places she used to be in the house. You remember her standing there smiling at you in the kitchen. You remember her sitting there in the bedroom with the sunlight coming into the room. And as you're looking at her, you just think of all of those memories you could have had with her. All of those stories she could have told you of her childhood. All of those laughs you could have had. And yet, as you're looking at her, you realize you didn't have any of those memories. As you're looking at her, you realize that you wasted that time somewhere else. You realize that you spend more time scrolling than you did spending time with your parents. You spend more time leveling up in the game than it takes to become a millionaire. And as you're looking at your mom in that moment, you just feel this sense of regret knowing all of those seconds you put into that wasted energy. You regret every second of it. I don't mean to give you this analogy to sort of guilt trip you or make you feel like a piece of shit. I just want to tell you this analogy because I wish somebody gave me this wake-up call way sooner, because I made an embarrassing calculation, right? I remember I started playing video games and really getting into gaming at the start of grade 4. So that was really when I just moved into this new country and shit. And so I made all of those friends through video games and people in my class playing video games with me. And it just got worse and worse. My entire routine during the lockdown was literally just wake up without even brushing my teeth with like yellow shit stains on my teeth. I'd literally sit down on the chair and just play until the end of the day. That's all I did. And looking back on this, it always makes me feel like a piece of shit, because I remember this one day that I used to live in like this old apartment and it was lockdown. So I was just doing my usual routine, playing video games for like 10 hours a day. And I remember at this particular moment, my dad was pissed off. And so, like every other gamer fears most, he went over to the router and unplugs it. I'm in the middle of the game while this is happening. It's like, oh shit, it doesn't work. What's going on? And so I go over to the hall. I see my dad unplugging the router, and I'm like, okay, Dad, can you please just plug the router back in? Come on, just one more game, please. Stop. I'm literally shouting at him to plug it back in that moment. And of course, he's pissed off, and so he doesn't do it. And so this makes me feel the most guilty. I remember 7 or 8 years old, I literally lunge at my dad, trying to wrestle him away from the router to like plug the router back in. I can hear my mom shouting at me from the other side of the room to stop. And I remember having tears in my eyes, pissed off, just over a video game. Fighting my dad just so I could finish this last game that I would forget just a week later. And the calculation that I made just a few days ago is that I have wasted over 15,000 hours in the last couple of years, maybe 10 years, on gaming. I could have become world class, an expert at something genuinely useful. I could have become an athlete. I could have become a millionaire by this age. Literally 15,000 hours. That's a shit ton of time. And yet, I instead put that into leveling up in a video game I don't play anymore. If you can relate to what I've just said right now, I hope you feel a little bit of shame. Not to make you feel like you're a bad person, but just to realize that every single hour you've put into this game hasn't actually been nearly as useful as it could have been. Because what I want you to realize is that I know exactly what situation you're in. I used to be pretty much where you are. I remember I was always the fat kid in school because that was never my real purpose. I never really felt motivated to work out or become an athlete. And so instead, I put that time into playing Genshin Impact. And so, of course, all of my friends would fat shame me. As soon as the day starts in school, that's exactly what I faced. And what I found is that gaming wasn't just wasn't just like a habit that I did because it was fun. It was because it was almost like a void inside of my heart. Because I remember I would come back from school getting shouted at by my parents for not studying, getting bad marks, getting fat shamed all day, feeling ostracized from my friends. And so I'd see my computer, I'd see video games, and I see this new world that I could play, I could escape in, where I'm suddenly the Dragon Slayer, I'm suddenly the most skilled in the entire friend group. I actually get respect. And so, of course, instead of putting my time into leveling up in real life, I'm just going to go where I see myself getting the most respect, which is video games. And so that's all I did for pretty much my entire childhood. And you might not understand it right now, but that is probably the biggest regret I have. Because, as I've written down here, you're just not a normie gamer, right? The reason that you play is that you want to level up, you want to succeed, you want to get that level of prestige, that respect from your friends, right? And so let me just ask you a question I really want you to just think about for a moment. What if we just took all of this energy you were putting into the game and just transferred it into real life? Because, hear me out for a second, just over a year ago, I finally pulled the trigger and stopped being a gamer. I finally quit this addiction I had for over 10 years, and I'm telling you, in just over a year and a half, I quit all of my addictions. I lost over 15 pounds. I became a straight-A student, literally becoming the valedictorian of my school. I literally completely reintegrated into a new set of friends that don't fat shame me each day. And the reason I'm telling you this is that this all just came from 1 year of grinding. And so if you just really think about it, instead of spending the next 10,000 hours of your life leveling up in a game you're going to forget, what if we actually leveled up in real life where we get to keep the rewards? Because again, it's not like you're even having that much fun at this point. If you're anything like where I was, the last few weeks of you playing incessantly every single day, you haven't even enjoyed it. It's like, even while you're playing the most addictive thing in the world, it just feels boring to you now. I remember I'd play all day and be bored as hell. And so, really, what have you got to lose? And of course, I know there's some excuses bubbling up in your head that I'm going to address in a second, but the brutally honest truth that most other people at our age are never going to realize is that 90% of teens, most of the people around you, all of your friends, are on track to be like that kid at the start of the video. The person who realizes that he wasted all of his time on something he regrets. And if you want to be like that kid, sure, go for it. You can stay a fat ass for the rest of your life. You can stay semi-depressed, getting fat shamed by your friends. But you probably don't want that life. And so I understand you have a few objections you're going through. You're like, oh, but Atharv, it's fun. I do it because my friends are playing. But I just want to ask you something right now, especially with your friends, because this is the biggest excuse I used to have. If your friendship with this person will disappear as soon as you quit the game, if your friendship is just based upon you watching the same memes on YouTube Shorts, then they weren't your friends, bro. I remember that when I quit video game just over a year ago, I had these friends on Discord that I would play with every single day for over 4 years of my life. And so I remember quitting and they reach out to me 1 day, 2 days. But after just 3 days of saying, hey bro, do you want to play? They immediately forgot about me. 3 days was all it took for me to stop being friends with these people because it wasn't really a friendship. It was just we enjoyed playing the same thing. And we felt even more high when we were with each other because that's all it really is. It's just an escape from the real world. But I'm telling you right now, when you quit the game and you start leveling up in real life, suddenly you feel so much more motivated. You know that sense of like childhood happiness you used to have like 10 years ago? I have gotten that back. Within just a few weeks of quitting video games, I got that back because, and this is really interesting, when you quit this game, suddenly you had this baseline level of pleasure from the game, But as soon as you quit it, it comes back down here. So suddenly, grinding in the game actually feels fun. In real life, I mean, it actually feels as fun as in the game. I remember just a few days ago, I had like some guests over and they saw, okay, I had this big library of fucking books that I read. It's not even like fiction, right? They saw this huge page of goals, like you can see right here. All these goals I've written on my wall. And they were like, okay, Atharv, what things do you do for fun? Because this seems boring as hell. What do you actually do? And I looked at them for a second and just realized that grinding in real life has become fun for me. It is suddenly, I know this might not feel relatable to you, but as soon as you quit this addiction, you feel enjoyment from literally leveling up as your own character. Instead of escaping into video games, you become that main character. You get to level up. And so I want to give you a real slap in the face right now because I know that I might have pissed you off. You might think I'm an asshole for saying this, but this is your choice. You can either be the fat kid for the rest of your childhood, the rest of your adult life. You can be the kid who was level 500 in the game. Or you can change and you can level up somewhere that actually matters. I hope this video has been valuable for you, bro. I know that it's a lonely journey to quit these addictions and shit. So in the description of this video, I put this Discord server that I've basically just made to help kids just like me quit things like gaming, scrolling, lose fat, become more respected in your friend group, and just change your life just like I was able to do. If you want more help from somebody that can relate to you, then go down and subscribe right now and go join that server. It's probably just right for you, and I hope to see you there soon. As always, my name's Atharv. See you soon, bro.